Hello, everybody. It's RaspberryBeryl back at it again. Let's see. Is the microphone on? Please tell me the microphone is on. Microphone, where are you? Okay, you're on. I gotta do it every time. Hi, guys. Welcome back to another stream. we're going to be going over more of my Star vs. AU this week, and I think then next week we will be returning to other people's biographies and such. Hope you're all doing well today. I'm doing pretty well, except for tired, yawn, sleepiness, and maybe I have to stream earlier because I'm always so sleepy. I don't know. Yeah. But we're going to be going over some Star vs. story today. And oh my gosh, revisiting this stuff last week and this week, it's just been awesome. It really makes me want to get back to writing and getting out the next chapter of the mysteries and the stuff in my AU. It's really exciting. So I hope this can continue to motivate me and I can get back on board soon with more stuff. And thank you guys for being so supportive. Okay. Let's shrink this model. Let me just put you here. Just a minute, guys. Which frame is it? Okay, that's good. Okay. Just a minute, guys. Okay, here we go. So we're starting off with the hit list. The hit list mystery is what we're going over today. The hit list mystery, master post. So we're going to start, I guess I'll start by reading this. And this took place about, oh my gosh, it's already been 2 years. That's crazy. I did not plan to read all the comments, but I am going to read the ones that are relevant to answering and going over the hit list mystery. Not all of them will be read, but some of them are, and unfortunately, I am not good at pronouncing some people's names, so I'm going to be failing at Thymes, or however you pronounce their name. But yes, we are going to be reading some of the comments and theories. But not all of them, because I don't want to confirm or deny anything, and I don't know if I have a good poker face. Okay. Hit list master post. So, I'll start by reading. Hi, guys. So, I'm doing a fun little mini mystery, Unlock the Answers event. There will be ciphers, decoding, and questions to be found and answered. This is one part of what I'm currently calling my Mysteries of the Multiverse side arc of my AU. You've already encountered some things from this arc, and now it's just about recognizing them and piecing them together. This hunt will give you some more to work with, but there is still so much more left in store. Take this as your master post. Work together or by yourselves to answer the questions, the results to individual riddles, and any other information you think would be important. We'll then end up here. I think this is a relatively easy first hunt, so I have faith that it won't take you too long. The hunt has already begun. Your first clue is to go to the hit list. Some people are already ahead, so look for their answers, and my responses in the comments. Lots of info is found there. Ask questions, comment what you think is happening, have fun. Okay, so I'll click on this image. So, oop, it's taking a minute to load. Let's see. Is the internet gonna work with me? So yeah, it's hard to see here, but this little thing on the screen is the hit list. Fry me? Okay, thank you. They all pronounce it like that. Fray me. Fry me? I don't know. Fry me? I don't know. Okay. The hit list mystery. What does it mean? Signed N. Now I'm trying to remember where we go next from here. Let me quickly. Detectives on the case. 25, 15, 21, 23, 9, 12, 12, 6, 9, 14, 4, 14, 15, 1, 14, 16, 23, 5, 18, 19, dash, 19, 9, 4, 5, 23, 1, 25, 19, 4. and the cipher was unlocked, which it says, "You will find no answers," / the sideways N. Evidence is found in an abandoned apartment, January 21st, 4:20 a.m. Neighbors thought they heard movement. Once the royal authorities arrived, the window was open and the suspect was gone. And here's that image. Junior investigator here thought it would be best to scan a clear shot of the primary found page that acts as a list of victims and one about executions. And it gives us this link, which let me just copy and paste. I'm pretty sure I know which one this goes to. And sorry guys, I'm going to try to read this the best I can, but I didn't know how to put this in a video format the best way. It's a lot better if you just experience it for yourself. Oh my gosh, why is it not doing that? Okay, so Fry Me unlocked the stash. Okay, and it gives us this image. Plutoa the Red, 10:87 a.m. Planned execution, poison. Subject likes wine. Poison should be easy implemented. Destiny, 11:08 a.m. Planned execution, lethal wound. Subject should be understanding. If not, don't be afraid to use force. Neptune, 11:32 a.m. Planned execution, suffocation. Make it quick. Subject likes flowers. She is already suffering from burns. Some simple smoke should do the job. Astrid, 11:54 a.m. Planned execution, fatal shot. Subject should be present on Earth. Easy shot. She lied going to the coffee shop late at night. She likes going to the coffee shop late at night. Crystal, 11:75 a.m. Planned execution, lethal wound. Subject spends most time in castle. Simply sneak job. Galexia, 11:97 a.m. Planned execution, lethal wound. Execution was a success. She took the deal, and so I made it as painless as possible. Subject should be present at case and point. She takes the job or dies. Let me give it a little zoomed in so you can see this stuff better. Luna, 12:20 a.m. Planned execution, lead her into a trap. Execution was a success. Went into trap in curiosity. Fell in and began to panic. Thankfully, it was fast and noise was contained. Subject is very curious and headstrong. Should easily take the bait. Her people are not very fond of her and will not follow. Twilight, 12:43 a.m. Planned execution, death by mirror. Mirror was planted. It was a success. Subject does not leave castle. Simple job if she takes the bait. Diana, planned execution, fatal wound. She noticed me from behind, but I managed to get a move on her. Success. Subject goes on lots of walks. Watch her when she leaves castle. It is compromised. Pandora, planned execution, poisonous gas. Success. She dies in sleep. Fill subject's room with poison. She will die in sleep. Easy kill. Nebula, planned execution, suffocation. Died peacefully in sleep. Subject spends time sewing in room most of the time. Catch her when she is asleep and take your move. Nova, planned execution, fatal wound. Put up fight, was forced to use force. Took a moment, but I managed to get her down and immobile. Subject will be found in mountains. Be prepared for weapons. Second evidence, the file found at the scene of the crime. File depicts several people, the planned attack, and the updated success. We don't know who these people are, but they bear the marks of the butterfly family, and if dates are correct, then it suggests these are the future heirs. This is only the first page. The end of the file has a page that ends with a girl named Alaya, and then goes back all the way back to our first queen. This continues to suggest these are the butterfly descendants, but that would suggest the suspect discovered time travel, which just can't be. The first file is a lot more detailed, a page for each victim, going into their days and mannerisms, and more into the planned attacks. By the notes that seem to suggest they are successfully assassinated 19 queens, we can't be sure, but this is the only lead we have. If you know anything, please report it to the queen and authorities. Evidence number 2. Question to continue looking on. Looking at the evidence so far, who is our main suspect? Answers found in the hit list posts and comments. And Framey answered, I need to go back and reread all the histories. There is a planned execution for every queen shown, so it can't be one of them. The only thing I can think of right now is Sideways N, which is Z, Edmund's real name was Zalazzo, but I think that could just be a coincidence. In the Chronicle of Oblivion, the end is one of the last diary entries a few days before her death. She wrote about how particularly the servant Z knocked into her, pricking her with what seemed a pin, and whispered into her ear, "Do not listen, do not talk to ghosts, and do not try to defy fate." Is this servant Z the Z that is killing queens? Did she poison her? And before that, we have Zagreus, traveler of the kingdoms, and Zachariah, prince from across the kingdom. Zagreus seems like the most likely of the three to be the Z, I think. Traveling the kingdoms, maybe even time traveling to people from the defying fate, like we had two destiny timelines, and maybe he's trying to erase one of them after the timeline was changed. Amazing work, I say. XD going out of the way, listing so many suspects. Either way, sideways N or Z would have worked. You get to continue, following the next link. And we come to this image of a note left in a bush. The crystal kill job was a no. There was a pesky ghost on the princess. There was a pesky ghost of the Princess Oblivion warning and defending her. We'll need to deal with her first. Lost my notes, annoying. Hope T won't mind. I'll get them back later. Hope he'll get me a new computer. My keyboard is broken. Signed, N. And then here is some stuff that I cannot translate currently, which takes us to the breaking news. Let me click on this. Muni paper 42XXXXX. Breaking news! At the celebration of the oldest princess's birthday, both Princess Demetria and Empress were shot and murdered. The suspect was then running away and kidnapping the young Princess Oblivion, leaving only Prince Darius and Princess Dahlia. We believe it to be the same suspect for the strange documents found in the abandoned apartments. We believe they realized we caught on, and so started taking out our main investigators as well as the Empress herself. Witnesses say they could not see the culprit. The shots simply came through the windows and crowd and hit the royals. Maids at the scene of Oblivion's capture simply replied, "All I could see was a person in a cloak from above. The next thing I know, I'm going to the princess's room and see the figure pushing her through a portal. There are currently no leads. Everyone beware and alert for this culprit to strike again." Okay, going back to the previous thing. So Fry says, so Crystal was supposed to be lethally wounded, but the ghost of Oblivion was there. Z needs to deal with Oblivion first. Who could T be? Is it a he? It's the broken keyboard a reference to the ciphertext, like everything that Z types comes out shifted 3, or maybe the Z key is broken and that's why Z's signing things with N. This one is a +3 Caesar cipher. That's the same cipher that we had in the URL earlier, and there was a biography a while back that ended with a +3 Caesar cipher. The message is, I have to stop the investigation. Come back here after I deal with them and tell them what I stole. Tell me what I stole? I have to think more. And then I responded, you are making me so happy on a roll. A few more things to uncover and put them on the right place. You were on track with the keyboard thing. It's also one reference to the initial hit list post that had a lot of spelling mistakes. Keyboard broken, some keys won't work. Tell me what I stole. Z stole Oblivion. And next is another thing that I'm not going to decode because it's a bunch of numbers, but we'll click on it. And Fryme says, okay, another alphabet cipher, this time without the underscores. Squee. Capture of Oblivion was go, and I got Demetria out of the way. Capture of Oblivion was a go and I got Demetria out of the way also. Got rid of those investigators. Won't have to worry about them anymore. Sideways N. Click on the link. We get another note. The annihilation is going well now. Soon this timeline will be gone, and then I don't know what she'll do with me. She made me go from the future backwards to the beginning, killing them off and preventing the story from moving forward. We can't have them know they are being killed off. So we go backwards. And if we did kill start to finish, then it would just create alternate timelines. It's not enough to just kill the source for some reason. I gotta take them all out. Can't say I mind though. More fun for me. Signed N. Another link. To move on, answer this question. Am I right-handed or left-handed? Can you provide evidence? Right-handed, because, and Fryme says right-handed, because your cipher on the next page said so. They also, because moving right to left would be backwards, and Z is going backwards? Correct, you are on fire. And let me quickly go to the encrypted URL, which has this notepad here. Dest didn't really seem to care, which surprised me and made me feel bad. I thought Z was helping her. I thought she had it better than me, and that she wouldn't just give in. Signed, N. And then we're not going to read all the comments from this page because they're not all super relevant, but go check those out through the hit list master post. Okay, this one's a bit blurry, but this was the next link that Fryme unlocked. I'll admit I was a little wary with this all before. I mean, T and I got along great. I was all about the jobs, but Z was right. He has more to offer. That cheese was pretty good. Signed, N. And another thing to decode, which we'll get in the comments. And Fryme says, okay, I think the answer is you were a kid, because Z feels like a kid, and the question was, am I an adult or a kid? And Fryme says, okay, I think the answer is you were a kid, because Z feels like a kid, and the jump rope and maybe the spelling. I think the kid would be more willing to do these things and try to mess up the timelines. Okay, next thing, unlocked. And I say, okay, this one was a bit tricky and there wasn't much to go on. You were correct that N is a kid. Good, you saw the kitty jump rope and how messy and disorganized everything was. Also, yes, the spelling mistakes were a sign of both childishness and a broken keyboard in Dest End. Note, they also drew a face, which was meant to show some childishness. The last hint was just a concept of enamored by cheese, is something a kid might do. Good job. You get to continue. Another notepad. I'm tired of Z's antics. I went after Serendipity as planned, though. I don't think she's that special, but what do I know? Signed, N. Another link. And we click it. And it takes us to this note in the woods. Okay. The fight with Solaria was exhilarating. Z gave me the simple mission to protect the prince and kill Solaria, and it would not have been more fun. And it could not have been more fun. Most of those queens are too easy, but Solaria put up a real fight. I could feel the electricity going through me. I saw Eclipsa and my adrenaline tempted me to just get her done too, but that's not part of Z's plan. I gotta have Eclipsa leave Eclipsa a few more years and then offer her that deal. So long, Queen of Darkness. You get off for now. Signed, N. To move forward, answer this. My name is N. I'm complimented in science 'cause it means blank. And one of my comments is, N says they are given the mission to protect the prince. Who could that be, and why protect when we've only known them to kill? And Fryme answers, N is the abbreviation for newtons, which is the absolute unit of force in physics. N is the abbreviation of nitrogen on the periodic table of elements. Complemented makes me think of chemistry and chemical bonding. N is used as an abbreviation for normality, which is the chemical concentration of solution. Maybe Rn is a super concentrated due to the absorbing other timelines. Maybe Rn thinks they are the solution to something. N is used to denote electron density, the measure of probability of an electron being present in a specific location, which sounds very quantum realm timeliney, but just a lowercase n, so maybe not what we need here. Ding dong, well done, I say. All acceptable answers in some fashion. You pulled all the possibilities. N is a strange figure. They happen to think they are the solution to a problem/goal and see themselves as an unstoppable force in their mission. You may continue. Number 5, bye-bye. Like C's other primary subjects, Eclipsa took the deal and accepted death with the promise of our world. I once again fail to understand her importance in the mission, as well as Galexia. I do what I'm ordered, though. That's why they made me. No need to ask questions. Signed, N. Decoded. And then we get this whole long thing. I'm not going to read all of it about what the red is. And gets the next link anyway. So let's just continue on to the next one. Okay, now we've got this picture with some crayons and stuff. Okay, let's see. It's a little hard to read these pictures. Z calls me the sideways N. I guess it's my name. A code or whatever. I'm more than what they see me as, though. I'm not just the bloodthirsty attack dog they made me to be. I know they may dislike it, but if they get fancy names, so do I. So I've decided to call myself Nynx. It's technically not different than my code name, ZNY_01X. But it's fun. It makes me feel more human. Signed, Nynx. Smiley face. Question. What is a sideways N? And Fry Me says, is a sideways N a Z? I think N is a Z from another timeline that the mastermind Z has tried to mold into a bloodthirsty attack dog to somehow change or restore the proper timeline by eliminating princesses in reverse chronological order. You had this one done for months, I say. XD, but I wasn't going to change it. Yes, a sideways N is a Z. You may enter the next thing. Okay, the next thing. Look, if there's someone I want to save, it's Arpina. Sure, she's soft, but she's my friend, and I think she'd be useful. Look, if there's someone I want to save, it's Arpina. Sure, she's soft, but she's my friend, and I think she'd be useful. But Z's all like, she doesn't have the gift. She isn't needed. Well, I don't care. If she gets to save people, then so do I. Signed, Nynx. Ask the right question and we will continue. Then come back and answer that question to see what comes next. We're going to skip over all these questions. Okay, the answer to this question is, who is Arpina? Congratulations to unlocking the next stage. And sorry, I'm trying to find the link to the next thing. Okay, so then that takes us on a quick little interval of the Tales of Arpina, Part 1, The Girl on the Wall. Fry Me has unlocked Part 1 of Arpina. This is part of the Hit List Mystery series, but may still make some sense without it. Tales of Arpina Part 1, The Girl on the Wall. The world didn't know what was coming for it when Arpina Alia Butterfly was first born in the late 7th century in the Butterfly Kingdom. The girl was a natural genius, creating businesses and inventions at 13. When she was 10, she was already showing off her intelligence, and her mother, Iris, decided to give her the wand. With the wand, she began researching, experimenting, and inventing more. She created many helpful spells, and even a few that threw her in her love of dance. When Arpina was 11, she began planning her dream project, a dimensional superstore where she could show off and sell her inventions and anything you could find in the universe. Within 2 years, she created a whole new dimension to hold her store, as well as faithful workers, with the knowledge of the past queens. Everything was on its way, and she couldn't be more than happy. It was also that year that Arpina would be walking down the halls, getting ready for a business meeting, when she heard footsteps. She paused and pressed herself to the wall, preparing for anything. The meeting wasn't for a bit, and she wasn't expecting anyone. After a few minutes, she didn't see anyone, and she realized on a closer inspection that the sound was louder, and was actually coming from in the walls. She struck out her tongue in disgust, expecting it to be rats, but when she used magic to cut a hole in the wall, a person jumped down and onto her. There was a person hiding in her walls, and now they were on top of her, holding her down. She was panicked, but knew there'd be time for that later. She just had to get herself free. She dipped down and used her magic to enclose the intruder and restrain them. She swirled her finger, keeping them there in the air, grunting and struggling, while she stood up and dusted herself off. When she looked up, she let out a small gasp, not expecting it to be a young girl, who looked about her age. The girl was still struggling in her hold, and managed to wiggle an arm out and then went to throw something at Arpina. Arpina was taken by surprise and so faltered, once again getting lunged at by the intruder. Annoyed, Arpina just swept her wand and put the girl to rest. She then inspected the item and saw it was a knife. It appeared to be an assassination attempt on her life. Strange. She left the intruder tied and locked up in a chair in her room while she went on with her meeting. When Arpina left her meeting, she was annoyed, frustrated, angered, and a whole skedaddle. Someone had broken into her store and stole, broke, and made a mess of it. She needed to catch those hooligans who dared to mess with her in her wrath. It was then that she entered her room. She remembered the girl she had found earlier. She looked at the sleeping assassin girl, smiled, and came up with a somewhat idea of what she could do. She awoke the intruder and had herself ready to defend. The intruder awoke confused before realizing their situation and struggling. There's no need for that. My magic chains are inescapable, Arpina stated. The girl just glared. Who says I need to escape to hurt you? She then sent a surge of lightning magic through her head towards Arpina. Arpina quickly dodged and looked at the mark on the wall, and in surprise and awe. Very impressive, she said. But stop that now, and I'll offer you a deal. The girl looked at her with inquiry, so Arpina continued. That's right. No more attacking. I've got a job for you, strange intruder girl. You've got fight, you've got bite, and you've got some magical forces in you. You're tough, and I think you're the perfect person to catch and deal with some annoyances I'm having. If you do this job and agree not to attack me, at least for a while, then I'll reward you with a mercenary payment as well as your freedom. Whoever paid you to come after me, I bet I can outpay them, she smirked. And the intruder laughed. Well, this is strange, the intruder said. Well, heck, it's a turn of events and an outcome I didn't see coming. I suppose I can put you off for a while, have a little extra fun. Why not? Sure, I'll take your job. Arpina smiled and nodded. Perfect. She released the intruder's hand from the chains so they could shake on it, after doing so fully releasing her. You got a name, oh strange girl who came out of my walls to attack me? The girl scoffed. Ha! You can call me N for now, and who knows, if this deal goes well, maybe you'll learn more. And Arpina did. After N did a stakeout and caught the hooligans, not killing them to her dismay and Arpina's orders, the girls had bonded. It had only been a few days, but Arpina just loved N's personality, demeanor, and quirks. N tried to seem tough, but Arpina loved seeing her sweet, gentle, and interested sides. Arpina wasn't ready for them to part, and to her favor, N was devoted to try to draw things out a little more, too. They had a sleepover, and N did as she said she would, telling Arpina more about herself. Nynx Kadar is my name. I'm 13 and mercenaryism's my game. And so that's how it started. How Arpina made her best friend Nynx. Nyx never told her who had hired her, but assured her she didn't have any plans to take the job offer anytime soon. It was a great friendship, both having a lot to offer the other. Nyx embarrassedly admitted to not really knowing how to read or write properly, and Arpina was happy to help and teach her. And Nyx had lots of cool ideas to offer about Arpina's newest inventions and spells. Arpina didn't know all that much about Nyx, but she knew enough. She didn't know where Nyx came from or if she had a proper home. Nyx came and spent many nights with her. She decided one night to ask Nyx about the situation just to make sure she wasn't living in other people's walls. And Nyx laughed. She admitted she lived with her older sister Zephyr, but it was a complicated relationship, and she was just really annoyed with her sister constantly mentioning some friend of hers, Fatum Rez. Arpina was happy to supply a temporary home to Nyx whenever she needed, and the girls were happy. And next we click on this link, and it says hello. And then there's this picture. What does it say? Go back and answer that question now. Smile. Hello? Hello? Is anyone there? I don't know what's happening. Nyx and I were just hanging out when she brought me to the side and told me some super weird existential mission thing her sister is doing. She was telling me she was going to save me from it and we'd stick together. I was freaking out and trying to ask her what was really going on, what she meant, when Zephyr walked in and tugged her away. She told me to wait in here, but it's been so long. I don't know what's happening. Is Nyx okay? Where am I? What's going on? And now we go back to answer that question. Who is Arpina? And Arpina is N's best friend. And now we get to this other note. Desk didn't really seem to care, which surprised me and made me feel bad. I thought, oh, we already saw this one. Never mind. Gotta go back. I don't know how I got here. I somehow got back. Okay, there we go. Nynx's best friend. Okay, next note. N has been doubting my plan. I don't want to, but if they can't just follow, then I will have to replace them. I don't want to. It was difficult to form them. They didn't see the reason for a lot of what I'm doing, but I guess I just have to remember they were created and lived without the few goods I had. They never knew Serendipity or Terra, so of course don't see their importance. As of now, I can say N will remain in my service, at least until the annihilation is complete, as long as nothing goes wrong. Signed off, Z. Nyx has been bad and made a friend. Find the hidden name and graze us. Hint, they like to travel. Tell me if you need a hint for this one. And let's see what the comments say. And the answer was Zagreus. That was the answer to the graze us thing. I don't know if it was spelled correctly. I might have messed that one up. Okay. And now we get to this image. I found Z's writing. I can't believe them. Mr. T was kind enough to point me towards it. Frowny face, anger. I follow Z because what else am I supposed to do? Yeah, I'm downright evil and a killer. I know this. But Z has to get it through their head that they aren't some hero. Sure, they're saving a few people, but I don't understand the greater good of all this. Yeah, weird, right? Me, wondering about the greater good. I guess I could care less. But I draw the line at what she's doing to some of them. To me. I found out what she's doing to Oblivion. I tried to save her, but Z didn't like that. I found out about Serendipity, and I wish I could take it back. And I know what she thinks of me. I can't have her making more. Nyx. I can be enough. I don't want another version of myself to suffer. I just don't know what to do. If I confront them, they'll just get rid of me and continue. But I have to convince them to calm down, slow down, and that I can be enough. Signed N. I gotta hurry. Answer this question. Who is Zagreus? What is the significance of the name? Requires Google searching. And Lilith answered this one first. Zagreus is the son of Persephone. And forgive me, I'm not going to pronounce these names right. In some versions, he is the son of Zeus, but in others, he is the son of Hades. Most versions that say he is the son of Zeus include something that ends with him dying as a baby and then being reborn as Dionysus. However, all versions agree that Zagreus was a child of Persephone. In Greek, Zagreus is the name given to hunters who catch living prey. And very, very good. You may continue. Oh gosh, am I going to be able to read this one? I can't see super well on my screen, so I'm having trouble reading some of these. I wish I had the typed out version. I guess we're going to have to do it like this, super zoomed. I'm sorry. I didn't know what was happening. I tried to stop it. When this all began, I didn't understand I was exactly what she wanted me to be. And I killed them all. And it's even worse that I did enjoy it at first. I was heartless, eager to get back at the world that hurt me, just like she wanted. When I should have been blaming her. I don't know how much Toffee is actually involved. Should I blame him too? I tried to keep Arpina safe. I tried to protect Oblivion after I saved her. Z just wanted to use both of them, though. Tried to make Oblivion just like me. And when they didn't listen, she... And so now it's done. I did it. I finished. I killed the last queen. The purification, or whatever they call it, will begin soon. I can only hope my friends will be happy in their new lives, and that Z will leave them alone. I loved Arpina, but I messed up. I showed Z just how useful she could be, and now Z will probably use her again. There's nothing I can do. I've served my purpose. I welcomed death, expecting it for my subordination, but Z said no. They said they weren't done with me, that they'd keep me. That they need me if Destiny can't do the job herself. So I'll be staying then, here in the nothingness, between time, in the dark, waiting, hoping things go better this time. This is probably my last update. Destiny, if you find this, please don't mess up. Be different than Z. Find a way to fix the world without the needless pain. I'll try to reach the others, get them to help. I won't give up this time. Signed, Nyx. If anyone is getting this, please, I need you to send this message to Destiny, please. And here is this code that I don't remember what it says. Let's see if someone has it. Ignore spelling mistakes. My keyboard is broken. Point, the detectives were unable to solve the case and found the hit list notes. But were you? Investigators, what's the report? Retort. Z has been using Nyx to kill queens/princesses in reverse chronological order in order to erase a timeline. Primary 0/P0 was something the timeline had been reading already, not primary 1. Okay. N and Z have succeeded in deleting universe primary 0. You may be confused. Well, you see, universe P0 is different from the one you usually encounter. They may have many similarities, but a few differences. You know not much of P0 besides from the bits you have seen before destinies collide. See if you can figure out some things, connect some dots, and then return to me. And I don't remember how you're supposed to get to the next post, so let's go back to the hit list master post. Okay, and then I gotta open creation of universe primary 0. Just a minute, guys. Where is it? Here it is. Creation of universe primary 0. Primary 1. So, once you finish through the whole hit list mystery thing, this thing would be published. Creation of universe primary 1. Finale 2, the hit list mystery part 1. Knowledge of the hit list mystery is recommended to fully understand this story. Content warnings. Sort of creepy behavior. In the white space of nothingness, while also being everything, there is a river that flows through, that the dead flow down. The river flows by many stations. Your soul determines your stop. Some flow down and are led to the afterlife. Others branch off and become ghosts, and some souls keep flowing down until they can't remember who they are anymore. In this particular time, or case, for there is no time in this realm, a girl with raisin hair and a fate she can't imagine flows down. She was part of Universe Primary 0, Take 3, and it all ended in destruction. As she flows down, she begins to wake, and can only reminisce on her last moments of the hooded girl with eyes of blood, who told her it was over. She really didn't know what to believe, all the things the girl was saying, but it made some sense, and she wasn't sure what she could do to stop it. She had stood there, cleaning her bedroom, thinking about the fun day she had had with her best friend, when the figure entered. As she stirs in her sleep of death, a new branch of the river breaks off, leading her to her destination, or rather, her temporary stop. When she meets the current end of the river, she finally bursts awake, at the end of the memory, where she had not fought the figure's words and sword. She looks and sits up. She doesn't know where she is. The figure had said there was more she had to do, that her time wouldn't end with death, so this must have been where they were talking about. So she waits. She looks around and is then startled by the figure behind her. Welcome back to us, Subject 2, or should I call you the First Destiny? The taller figure smiles at her. Hello? Z? She tried to smile as she looked at them. Oh, good. You remembered me from when you first got the book. And how is that going? I thought it was going well. Can I ask why? What did I do wrong? Why did you decide to end our world? Destiny tried to speak clearly, but was failing. She was scared, and Z could tell. Z tilted their head and lowered themselves to be nearer to her. Oh dear, it's okay, they said, as they began to slowly push their hand against her hair. You did well. I'm sorry I didn't explain the plans well enough. We were done with that test, though, and I gathered lots of information and things to improve upon to make sure you do things correctly next time. Destiny felt so small and scared under their hand, a slight shiver as their hair continued to be stroked. Improved upon? Next time? I still don't understand. They stopped their brushing and now took their hand to her chin. Destiny could slightly see the second figure from behind step forward, but she couldn't let her focus leave Z. Yes, next time. I'm all done with Universe P0. It's time to make Universe Primary 1. And for that to happen, we had to get rid of all traces of P0. All their souls are joining the desolation, so they can be reborn into their new lives. But I had my little friend here explain that to you, didn't I? Z turned a little, giving a clear view to the shorter figure in a cloak. All Destiny saw was their blood-red eyes and that they had their arm ready to pull out a sword. Subject 1 here did its job. Yes, there were a couple hiccups and malfunctions, but it did its job and followed my instructions despite its errors. Z turned to her once again, still holding her face gently, but still not letting go. But you? Yes, you also had some errors, but you were only the first test, the first destiny. So there were bound to be some errors. I just don't understand why. I gave you such nice things, such simple orders. All you had to do was follow. Their grip became more tight. Now tell me, Destiny, how are Terra and Toffee getting along? Destiny gulped under their grip, not knowing what to say. Exactly, Z stated. You were unable to connect the catalyst to its author. You disobeyed the path, so I saw no reason to continue Take 3. I learned what I had to. Sir, please, Destiny heard from behind Z, the person currently holding her down. Not now, N. Don't forget your place, they stated back. The smaller figure, N, faltered and stayed put. Destiny's attention went back to Z. But it's okay, dear, they spoke. It's okay because I now know what to avoid next time. I know not to be so soft on you. I'll make it easier for you to obey. Destiny felt so scared under their shadow. I'm willing to do this as many times as I have to until you and this timeline work out, Z said. Destiny quivered. She didn't like this. Didn't like everything that book had said. She had skipped ahead. She didn't want this. N spoke once more. Sir, please, you're scaring her. I said to stop it, N. Don't you take another step forward unless you understand what it means for you, N stated and let go of Destiny and turned to N, who had been moving forward. They stopped once more, though. No need to worry, sir, they assured. I remember my place, and I know the repercussions. I understand I am nothing in your shadow. Z walked towards them. Oh, N, they softly spoke. You know you aren't just nothing. You're my nothing. My little weapon of destruction. They smiled. I'm happy to hear you understand your rules, but I don't want to punish you, so what's the meaning of this? And looked to the floor and smiled. Destiny wondered if they weren't supposed to make eye contact, for why else would they not be? I mean no ill will, Z, they spoke. I simply wish you to be a bit more gentle and less harsh on Subject 2. I know you have thought about this all very deeply, but you must recall that 2 here doesn't have your thoughts, doesn't know what's truly happening, just like I was when you brought me. They are in an unfamiliar setting and scared. Get to the point, N. Yes, and put their hands to their chest. My point is that as a fellow subject, I think it would be best for me to direct her from here. You are dropping a lot of information on her, and I think she could use a more friendly face. I know from experience you're teaching, and I think we should ease her more into this first. Z stared for a moment, but then sighed. Fine, and turned towards Destiny once more. You'll get up now and answer my last questions before joining the others. Listen to N, and please don't make this harder. And with that, Z walked away. Destiny stared as they walked off, before redirecting her attention to N, still scared. She was thankful for N's incision, but honestly, all that new info made her a bit more scared. There was Anne, the figure who had visited her, who had killed her, who explained it was the end of the world. She held her stomach where she had been stabbed, and tried to prepare herself for whatever was next. Hey there, Dest, Anne spoke, surprisingly softly, almost tired. Just hang in there. Breathe. There's no reason to be scared. I'm not going to hurt you. And then stopped and looked to where they had stabbed her. Well, I won't hurt you again. A lot has happened since we last crossed paths. To you it just happened, but I've experienced a lot since then, and I've come to realize the flaws in the mission. Destiny looked up. It was so weird and strange to look at them. She still doesn't understand. You did? She asked. Yes. I made a friend. They spoke softly. Z attempted to tamper with them, before realizing not everyone can take harsh instruction like me. They're gone now. Killed off like all the rest. Destiny could only stare sadly as N's demeanor changed. Z was tempted to make you cease, leave you in the river into the abyss, and start from scratch, N nervously chuckled. But I convinced them otherwise. I know that might sound hard, but I believe in you. You don't know me, but I know you, and I don't know how long or how many destinies it's going to take, but we're going to figure this out. With the test done, the hard part is over. They will interfere less. When they send you back, you won't remember any of this, anything. There will be a lot of changes to that world, but I'll be here, in the nothingness, watching over you. Destiny didn't know how to feel. It was sweet, but this has all just seemed like so much, and really did seem different from the last time she saw them, though. And continued, I left messages, hints to our past all over the place. If people can help us, can find them, then I think we'll be able to solve this whole thing. There will be people who are against you, but just remember, it's not really you they're against, it's Z. I mean, of course you won't remember that, but if there's a chance you do, well then do. And began to awkwardly laugh and rub their head. Destiny smiled a bit too. Gosh, I'm really bad at this, N said. Destiny decided to speak up now. I think you're doing all right, N. Thank you for making this a little easier. And yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I still don't really understand anything. And that's okay, N nodded. It's only the beginning. You just don't worry. You've got enough on your plate. Leave the planning to me, and I'll try to find some way to get it to you. Remember that you are strong. Z might act all-powerful, but they aren't, and you have the power to change fate too. Destiny nods and then is surprised by N hugging her. She looked down at N, really got a look at them, and realized how hard this must be. Hey, she spoke, lightly rubbing N's back. Hang in there too, kiddo. You're doing so much as well. And it's really admirable. We'll get through this, like you said, no matter how long it takes. And if, whenever I mess up, and they decide to bring me back, I'll meet you here, and we can catch up. N wiped their eyes. Yeah. Now if you'll follow me, they said. We just have a couple questions we need you to answer before the new universe can commence. And so Destiny and N walked through the nothingness together, preparing for their next fate, and Universe Primary 1 is created. And Universe P1, take 236. A Destiny lays asleep in her bed. She hears some movement and it wakes her. She startles up and looks around, but no one can be seen. On her nightstand there is a note, though. She reads over it and is perplexed by the strangeness of what's written. Who in the world is Z? She says, thinking for a moment. With no current idea, she puts the note down and goes back to sleep. And that was the end of the creation of Universe Primary 1. And I don't remember if we read the last thing last time about Zagreus. I'm trying to remember what we read last time. And I know I didn't really go over this super well. I really was hoping this would be better, but I had a lot of fun trying to read over this. So what you need to know, if you don't already understand from the origin of fate and other things, is Z is the first destiny, or Zagreus, and is the original timeline. And that Z, kind of, with their magical scissors, was able to escape to an alternate timeline. And through means we don't know quite yet, we're still looking for answers, Z decided to change the timeline to try to make the world better for reasons we are not sure. And it's theorized, not confirmed necessarily. I'm trying not to give away too many spoilers. Z did something to one timeline to create N, which is another destiny, again, before the destiny was called Destiny. So it's another version of Zagreus. And I'm pretty sure it's been talked about a little, but N is created through some power with the red, which the red is kind of like an evil force in my AU, which you learn more about in Plutoa's story. And so N was basically Z altered a timeline to create N. They purposefully tampered with time to make N as bloodthirsty as possible and to make it so N would become their perfect assassin for them. And then they recruited N because N didn't have anyone else. And so then they gave, after a couple tests, they gave N the mission of killing all the queens of that timeline. So they could create the new timeline, P1, primary 1. And the timeline hasn't been perfect yet. There's been like 236 different versions of Z trying to make the timeline go perfectly. But things keep going wrong. Or, N just isn't able to stop whatever Z is planning. We don't exactly know what Z is trying to do, but Z is trying to do something that the other people involved in the story do not agree with. I wish I could describe this all better. I wish I had written a script about what to read. I should have prepared more stuff. But, it's just so cool. I can't wait to try to, unveil the whole story. Let me switch back to just chatting. Now that we don't need that anymore. Did I read A Lost Girl's Home? I'm trying to remember if I did. I'm going to have to review my last VOD, I guess, to see what I did or didn't read. Because I can't remember if we read A Lost Girl's Home or not. But I really encourage you guys to check out the Hit List Mystery by yourself if you want to. Because it's really hard to try to go over it all on stream, and I really appreciate it. Oh my gosh, thank you for the tip. Yay, you unlocked another little emoji thing. Look at her. Da-da-da. Let me move myself to the side. Okay, we haven't read the Lost Girl's Home. Okay, I'll quickly read that then. And that will give you a little more on serendipity. Okay. The Tale of Serendipity, Part 2. It was the night of 1142, and 3 siblings were all coloring together. Neptune sat drawing the waterfall she had seen last week. Sky drew a flower and a ladybug, and Wardrobe, like she always seemed to do, was sketching her dreams. Neptune looked over to see what Wardrobe was sketching that day, and oohed at what she saw. It appeared to be an image of a wardrobe with some people all around her. "Ooh, what's that, Wardrobe?" she asked her younger sister. Wardrobe smiled, but shyly looked away. I don't really know," she said. "I was just seeing these people in my dreams lately. I think they might be my family." Neptune stared peculiarly at that, contemplating her sister's words. "What do you mean, think? They might be your family. Don't you know?" "No," Wardrobe said. "I can't remember them at all. I don't even remember how many brothers or sisters I have, if any at all." She looked down sadly and began to cry. Sky had gotten up at this point and went around the table to give Wardrobe a hug. Neptune just continued to contemplate Wardrobe's words, and if there was anything she could do. Then it came to her. "Wait," she smiled and yelled. "I don't know what happened to your memory that made you forget them, Wardrobe, but we can ask my mom if she can visit them." "She said that they were friends of hers," Neptune smiled, pleased with herself. Wardrobe's eyes widened, and she made an unrecognizable face. Your mom knows them? She knows my family?" she asked. Neptune looked back at her and began to feel less happy due to the response. She thought this would make Wardrobe happy. "Yeah, Mom said she was friends with them, and we were taking you in after you couldn't go home." Wardrobe just stared in bewilderment. If she knew, then why did she never tell me? What does that mean? That I can't go home? Neptune tried to think of what to say. What could she do to save this? I don't know, W, but I'm sure Mom will be happy to answer our questions. Just wait right here. I'll go get her. And so Neptune ran off to get Queen Destiny. Wardrobe waited in silence, trying to prepare herself. for questions and for answers. This was it. She would have answers to our dreams. It only took a moment, and then the queen was entering the room. Hello there, Wardrobe, she said. Neptune told me you wanted to ask me something? Yes, Wardrobe said, and she showed the queen her drawing. Oh, what is this? The queen looked at the drawing. She smiled, but then it began to falter just slightly. Oh, Wardrobe, she said, you have an amazing imagination. Wardrobe sunk at the words. So she was wrong? The dreams weren't her family? She decided she needed to ask. So, they aren't my family, she asked with a stern face that showed both her frustration and her urgency. Destiny looked a little unsure what to say. She then spotted Sky and asked her to leave them alone for a moment. You can come back in a few minutes. We just need to have a quick secret chat, she smiled. Once Sky was gone, and the door to the library closed, Destiny turned her attention back to Wardrobe. Wardrobe, honey, she asked. Why are you asking about them? Aren't you happy here? Wardrobe clenched her eyes and furrowed her brows. Of course I'm happy, she shouted back. But I don't know who I am, why I'm here, or where I came from. I'm dreaming of these people and they have to be part of the answer. I'm happy here, yes, but I don't belong here, she spoke sadly. Oh, Wardrobe, Destiny said as she pulled her into a hug. You do belong here. It was fate that you came to us. Wardrobe wanted to believe her, that she did belong, but she also needed answers to the past. My family, she spoke. You know them. Take me to them. I don't, Destiny said. Wardrobe then pushed her away. Liar, she yelled. Neptune said you knew them, said you were friends with them, so please, give me the answers I seek. Destiny let out a sigh, and then looked back with her face stoic. I can't, Wardrobe. You can't go back to them, so what does it matter? Wardrobe began to cry. It matters. I need to know what happened to them. Why can't I go back? Fine, the queen said. Fine, the queen said. I did this for you, Wardrobe, to protect you. You can't ever return to them, so I thought it'd be better to spare you the pain, but fine. Wardrobe was worried with how the queen was talking, but she listened more intently. This was it. Yes, I knew your mother, the queen spoke, slightly beginning to cry herself. We were friends, sometimes rivals, but then she was killed. She was killed and your family couldn't care for you, so they sent you here. She closed her eyes and then turned back to Wardrobe. I love you, Wardrobe, and I'm sorry, but you can never return to where you were born. Your family is gone, so stop looking for them. She looked back at the girl, now sadly smiling. Please, we're your family now. Can't we be enough? Wardrobe felt her small world shatter. So this was it, huh? There really was nothing for her. No more answers. She got them. It just wasn't what she wanted. She looked back at the queen. I'm sorry, she said. I do love you all. Thank you for taking me into your family. I just wish I could remember. I know you do, sweetie, Destiny said. It's okay that you want them, miss them, but you won't get anywhere. So please, just try to stay focused and happy on the now, okay? Wardrobe smiled and wiped her tears. Okay, she said. Great, Destiny said. She then took Wardrobe's picture and wrote a nice, I love you, Destiny. Wardrobe took it and thanked her, as the queen then once again left the room. Wardrobe stood at the drawing, at the new addition to it. She laughed at the queen's handwriting. Her Y's looked a lot like Z's. She has family here and now. She will and can be happy. She is thankful. They are enough. She'll try to tone it down, but she'll never forget or let go of the family she wished she knew. She might not know them, but she knows she misses them, so she'll be holding on to this drawing. 11:51. A newly 16-year-old girl slams her fist against a wall and cries. She holds tightly to the drawing she has made of her family, needing to savor and remember what their faces were before it all disappears. Her anger is unimaginable. Curse you, Zagreus, she says. Curse you. One day she'll get them back. She won't give up, and she definitely won't forget till then. Please just let them hold on. One day she'll get home. One day she'll make sure that no one trusts Z like she did again. And then, trying to remember there is also this little poem that's called The Bride of Zagreus, which I think is pretty important, but I don't think we are going to finish reading it today. We'll save that for another day when I can pile another couple things for us to read. But The Bride of Zagreus goes more into Wardrobe and Sarah and Leslie's story, if you haven't already figured them out. And Wardrobe, if you don't remember, is from my Destiny biography. And I guess also, from Stella's biography as well. And I guess that's where we're going to end it for today. Thank you all for listening to this tobacco. This was not the best organized, but I tried. So thank you guys. And thank you for the tip earlier. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for some more stuff. And then next week, I'm excited to get back to reading more people's biographies. I still haven't decided whose biography we're going to start with, but we will figure that out soon. So thank you guys, and have a great rest of your day. Let me get the wave up. Wave. Bye, guys.